In yesterday's my Instagram live, one of the follower has asked me one question. Sir, what is the main reason despite we being ignored or neglected or being rejected, still we want to pursue that person? And we do have a false hope that someday they're gonna change and they're gonna come back to us. Even though we could see that visibly they are not interested in us, at the core of our heart, we do know that they might not come, they might not approve us, they might not be able to reciprocate same kind of love, but still we hope and crave and cling on to their attention and their love and their warmth. So my take on this issue is that if we negate the mental health issue concept, if we don't go deep dive into the OCDs and compulsive behaviors and somebody having bipolar disorder or mood disorders or spectrum of anxiety disorders, if we see this issue in general psychological point of view, in relationships point of view, if we dig deep and go deep into the a person's personality, core belief system and characteristics, it boils down to three main concepts. The first one is fear of rejection. While speaking with my clients, I came to know that there is a vast section of society where they couldn't get approval from their parents, their significant others. There might be a case of absent parenting, negligence, or parents constantly being involved in internal fights. Somebody might be going through a bad divorce. Somebody might be going through a physical abuse phase, domestic violence phase. Somebody might not have a parent. In some instances, they were living with their grandparents. Because of the advanced age or because of their complications, they couldn't have shown that kind of empathy, intimacy, love, and warmth that could have rendered by a parent. So, in such instances, if you fulfill a certain responsibility, certain role, certain cycle, certain routine, then only you're gonna get the love and warmth. So, when a person goes through this conditional love phase, they would develop this fear of rejection. If I am not going to fulfill this responsibility, if I'm not going to act in this way, if I mind my ways, if I be more accommodative, or if I constantly pursue these people, they gonna embrace us. At least we're gonna receive some amount of love and warmth. Interestingly, in some instances where child was put to too much of time or time, like in especially we observe in US clients, people coming from that background do have this fear of rejection. So they might be investing all their attention and focus and energy and resources in seeking approval and validation from the significant other person. The second category I would like to share is people with the low confidence. When you seek constant validation from society, constant approval from society, you are adding fuel to your low self-esteem. In a way, we could call them as emotional pursuers. Because they are seeking validation, their self-worth depends on the other person's approval. When you observe these emotional pursuers, sometimes we might think that these guys are stalkers. Their behavior might seem like very intrusive, breaking our privacy. It might seem like an invasion into our space. Some kind of obsessiveness we might be able to observe in these people's behavior. If you really have to determine, if you really have to understand these emotional pursuers, you will be able to see there is a kind of fixation in singularities, like a fixation on a person, a fixation on a goal, a fixation on a job role, a fixation on a promotion, a fixation on an object, the desire to get hold of that object. Like if they have want to get hold of an iPhone 16 or something, if they were able to get hold of that object, they will feel like they have achieved something. You see that a guy who had worked in sales area, so if they were not able to close a deal, they have constantly tried, negotiated and pitched the proposal for a tough client who is not at all interested in your product, but they have continued on their path. After 3 years, after continuous interaction with the client, some point of time that they were able to generate that lead and they were able to finish that proposal and they were able to finish the sale. So obviously they will get this idea that okay, I am an expert in this sales, so if I was able to get hold of this tough client, I can also mend this person, because they are basing an internal intricate relationship dynamic to a transactional dynamic where the only component is the value of the product. People often forget to understand that there is a vast difference between human personal interactions and sales transactional materialistic interactions. Even best of the best people might not be able to understand this component. The third and most important point here is the scarcity mindset. People might think that there is a dearth of beautiful looking girls and boys and men and women. If they are not able to get hold of this person, they might not be able to get a life partner in future. When you have this scarcity mindset, you would be investing all your bets on getting hold of that cherished goal, dream, or person, getting love, approval. The problem with this mindset is that our mind tries to rationalize that this is the only person who you have a best shot to be in relationship or to get into a marital relationship. One thing you would be able to understand about these people that they would be paralyzed by fear of losing that person. No matter how many times they might reject, they might not be able to comprehend that somebody is not ready to choose them. And there is already a scarcity in the market for such people. So they have concocted a dystopian idea in their mind that if they are not able to achieve that love or the care or the relationship from that person, they will assume that they will not have any value. So their self worth is dependent on that person's approval. In such instances, people do have this illusion of control, like they might not have the clear idea that other end party is also another human being, independent individual soul. They have a right, they have also a criteria, they have taste, they have likes and dislikes. They might want to act on that. They want to be respected, their personal space and boundaries. If you have this false grandiosity, the world will work on your terms and conditions, on your whims and fancies. Obviously, it would be pretty hard to understand and fathom this reality that you are not their priority. So the best solution for such people is not to seek approval and validation from external entities. Do develop a sense of self. Try to become a fully functioning person, a coherent person, a person with purpose, a person with abundant mindset. When you understand that person, that post, that job, that promotion, that role is not the entire world. If you are not going to seek, if you are not going to get hold of that, the whole world is not going to collapse on you. The beautiful line from Bhagavad Gita, you would be able to relate to this concept. This shall too pass. If it is a good moment, it is also going to get pass. If it is a bad instance, it is also gonna pass. Nothing is permanent in this world. When you are truly able to understand this concept, you would be able to let go of people, let go of things, let go of opportunities which were not meant for you. If you don't put much effort on this self-reflection, you would be feeling like drained, low on energy, purposeless, constant drive of seeking validation from external entities to fill the void which is inherently there, which will not be filled by the others. It will be filled by only developing self-worth, the concept of self, and finding a true purpose and a reason to lead a life. So that's it, friends. We'll meet in another video with another concept. Until then, this is Gautam signing off. Namaste.